We've played Poland many a time on this channel because Poland is super fun. But today we're gonna go with the ultimate strategy. With this strat you can hold against Germany without losing a single tile while not even using forts. Anyway, we're gonna do something nobody has ever done before. We're gonna clamp down on Danzig. Truly revolutionary. We're gonna set up local police force and basic research. MIOs doesn't really matter for us. We're just interested in getting the production bonuses, but Poland's MIOs aren't really that great. Oh, fuck's sake, you asshole! Just bit me! We're just interested in getting 6 slots so we can get the assembly line optimizers. We're gonna put up a land warfare facility in Lublin. If you're not interested in fighting the Soviets, you don't really need to do it because you get it a couple of months before World War II kicks off. You get your flame tanks. So if you're only interested in dunking on Germany, don't even bother. Just get more mill factories. I'm also not gonna build civ factories here and instead build civ factories in a state that I can actually pronounce, which is Krakow. 3 of them. That's fine for now. We're gonna shift train our Navy and Air Force. Not that I really care about the Navy, but we might as well do it. Give our seamen something to do. We're gonna get our agency. We're also gonna set up garrison equipment on high. And I guess in the meantime, I can already split up 7 horses. Put Danzig on civ oversight. And then we can assemble the Regency Council. And then we're gonna wait a couple of days. And then we can dismiss those horses. And their equipment will immediately flow into suppressing Danzig. And then we're gonna suppress the resistance in Danzig, and we're also going to fulfill the 5th of November Act. Also get the Chief of Army, little bit late with that, but yeah, we lost like what? Probably like 10 army XP. I do like this Poland color though. It's pleasing to the eye. Now we are just gonna do the 4-year plan and we will get events for a little while every couple of months. A new guy will march to the throne and will demand being set in power. We're just gonna refuse all of them twice. As for generals and field marshals, we don't want the old guard guys. I really like leader experience gain, and old guards do not gain leader experience gain. So that's pretty bad. If you are only interested in a short war, they are fine because they give you more entrenchment, but you know, as soon as you have longer campaigns, it's really bad. We're gonna get Polish School of Mathematicians, and as I said, we're gonna refuse this guy. We want another on the throne. I don't want a Habsburg. We've had enough of them. Then we're gonna pick Concentrated. With Poland, you can make the argument that dispersed is fine, at least with this strategy, because you do get a lot of land relatively late into the game, but I just really like Concentrated. It is bigger number. Dispersed is probably better here. And we are also going to switch to partial mobilization. We're gonna fill in the railway gaps, and then we're gonna get agrarian reform, improved machine tools, construction. At this point, you can also hire a scientist. And we are gonna do agrarian reform. I am really not interested in getting the peasant strike. That is a lot of malices. Then we're gonna do unification propaganda. Ooh, I forgot. We could have done this a little bit earlier. Prop heritage. Bold attack, and then create the backbone of the Polish army. This thing will bring us to glory. Number 1, we're gonna turn it into our garrison template, and then we're gonna spit out about 102 of them, and then we're gonna get central region strategy. We are already gonna get it, this one for the 2 factories, and it will also give us research bonuses, but I want to keep the research bonus. Let's get excavation 2, and the anti-government pact. We're just gonna refuse it. It doesn't matter. Both of them don't like us, so they're just like my parents. Concentrated 2 and excavation 1. And then we're gonna raid Nazi resistance, which means we can immediately ban them. Radio, and then we're gonna integrate Gdansk industries, get rid of embargoed economy, 10% construction speed, 5% research speed, 10% factory output, and less consumer goods factories. A homeless person wants to get the throne. We're just gonna ignore her and hope she leaves. But sadly, spoilers, she will not leave. I wanted to delay as much as possible because of the stab hit. Being lower than 50% hurts much more than being above 50%. Goodbye factory output. It was nice knowing you. Your main objective is just deploy horses as much as often as you can. Then you can also spread them out all across Poland, but not in tiles that will be next to offensives, and also not in our facility doesn't suffer from supply malices. We're just gonna continue down our Romanov tree, and we're gonna get the air reformer. At this point, we can also start building mill factories. Keep on deploying units. 45 is probably fine at this point. If you want to, you can just create a chunky cavalry division. Since it is free, literally, it is free, you can just take it, and that way you get more manpower in the field, which is my favorite type of requirement, because now you can just get this one for cheap. One thing I should have done, we can put the horses on high, that way we guarantee that we get enough, but it doesn't matter. You're still gonna have enough. Pan-Slavic revolution. Then we're gonna train our army, our proper army, not the horses, and we're gonna dump them on the Lithuania border. Then we're gonna get the truck technology and gun technology, as well as artillery technology. And at this point, one thing you can also do, you can add, not artillery, you can add support AA and engineers to your infantry, and we're gonna put you on elite. We're gonna put support AA, artillery, and engineers on our mountaineers. We are gonna create a proper fighter with cannon ones. They are really bad. For some reason, we have engines too, even though we haven't researched them, so we'll also have to waste 100 days on that one in a second. And then we're gonna create an interwar CAS. It has worse stats, but the same ground attack, so that's perfectly fine by me. This one is cheaper, so it is perfect. Especially early on, we don't have any resources, so we need to make use of everything that we have. There we go, let's get the engines too. Pan-Slavic revolution, we're gonna wait a couple of days. Then we get limited conscription, and we cannot demand Lithuania just yet. That's because we have too many in training. That's probably, there we go, now we can demand Lithuania. Army is on the Lithuania border. We can turn you into proper infantry divisions. And at this point, I think we're fine. Yeah, we have 130 cavalry. That's more than enough. We're gonna put a spy on Hungary. And this does remind me, I should have justified on Hungary. The spy should not die, but if they die, then it's bad. I've run this thing like 10 times, and Hungary never took out the spies. 8 of them is probably fine. We're gonna turn you into the infantry. 500k. We're gonna demand Slovakia now. We're gonna drop them on the Slovakia border. We're gonna immediately release Lithuania as a puppet. This gives us 2 benefits. Number 1, we don't have the manpower or the resources to suppress Lithuania. Number 2, we can restore the Commonwealth. Number 3, they can do industry focuses, but they never do those, so it doesn't matter. Construction free and computing machines, as well as radios. We can dump the rest of our new Lithuania army up here. Let's make 18 this time. The recon guy, and we are gonna turn all of you into the infantry division, drop you over here, and I'm gonna consolidate the infantry here. This gives us 120,000 back in the pool. That's fine. We only need 550k here, and 700k for the medium orge, but that's, we'll worry about that later. Gun tech. I can't believe it worked, because I've done the strat a couple of times. We're gonna release Slovakia immediately as a puppet as well, and draw a front with Hungary. We're gonna put up our planes in Slovakia, and then we are immediately gonna demand Yugoslav submission. I want my femboys. 2 on trucks now, 1 on artillery, 3 on AA, and 9 on support equipment. We're gonna get the infantry expert now, declare war on Hungary, call Slovakia in, and the Hungary war is fairly simple. You just, there we go. That is pretty much all you need to do. This one offensive, and we can make a second one here. It's not super required, but it might as well help. There we go. Yugoslavia refuses, which is exactly what I wanted. We're gonna do Governorate of Livonia now. If Yugo accepts, you might as well reload. This makes us so much weaker. Hungary is a bit feisty today, but I'm still fine with this. We are grinding experience points right now. And once you have Budapest, pretty much all you need is Győr. But again, I am interested in getting a little bit more grinding here. And that is Hungary out. Gonna puppet them, take their resources and their factories. Immediately pause. Drop these boys over here on the Slovakia, Poland, Romania border. We are gonna get the military theorist in a second. Now you might see that we have a little bit of a supply problem, but that's fine. We are just gonna add truck supply and truck supply here. Now we can even go for truck supply then. Supply is better, and there is 1 supply up here in Bukovina. I would very much like to get that one ASAP, so we will just do that. We can also build up here in the Lithuania states for 80% infrastructure. We can put up our planes up here.
At this point, you can choose between one of 2 tactics. If you choose mass assault, Germany will genuinely not be able to push you, and the defense is easy against the Soviets due to your higher manpower pool, allowing you to man both fronts at the same time. But on the flip side, your early game is very tight. Pushing Romania is much harder, since mass assault doesn't really offer you offensive benefits outside of the reinforced rate and mass charge, which requires you to have a lot of manpower and equipment, which you don't have yet. On the other hand, we have Grand Battle Plan giving you continuous benefits without doing anything in particular, but defensively effectively only giving you a slight boost to entrenchment. For beginners, I'd say Grand Battle Plan is easier, since the mass assault Yugo war can take a bit too long if you're not careful, and then Yugo will end up joining the Axis. Regardless, I have a VOD to both strats in the description, so feel free to watch them. This video, however, uses Grand Battle Plan.
We are gonna declare war on Yugoslavia. We are gonna call in Slovakia immediately, and Romania is attacking us. Yeah, Romania is being very feisty again. Sometimes they are super aggressive, but I feel like now we can do it because they pushed with these guys. Just make sure nobody reinforces here. Okay, nice. We have that tile, and then we can just attack over here as well. If you want to, you can also delay this war. You don't need to do this at the same time because this is getting a little bit micro heavy now. Okay, we're gonna go down to 1 speed, get gun tech, because we do want to get the earliest moment that we can pause with this focus, which is the first hour of the next day. This way, the allies do not guarantee Latvia and Estonia. If you don't want to bother with that, you can also justify, but you do lose PP for this. Improve relations, diplo pressure on the Germans. We're gonna restore the Commonwealth, and we're not gonna push into Latvia. We're just gonna ignore the front. If you can take this one tile, that's fine. Get machine tools. This is the hardest part of the Romania war. You need to push through this tile, and once you have this tile, once you have the supply up, you have won the war. Genuinely. There we go. Hold these boys for a second. If you want to, you can continue pushing here, snaking a little bit. But usually Romania also freaks out here. So both of these things are honestly fine. Push in here, and I'm gonna pin with these. As I said, like, your only objective here is to just be annoying a couple of Romanians out of this war. Now we get the better engineers. And honestly, we can go back to horse supply. Commonwealth has been restored. We now claim Russia. And now we get the aggression pact with Germany. Yeah, the aggression pact. I mean, it technically is. The only reason you get the non-aggression pact with Germany is so they can't get Memel from you, which is one whole civilian factory. They will still get Danzig because that is an event for some reason. And, like, yes, it makes sense because historically they also broke the non-aggression pact with Poland, or they attacked them despite having a non-aggression pact, but you know, you can't cheese it with a non-aggression pact. Also, from this point on, you can attack Latvia and Estonia and cap them. Then let's take Riga, and we're gonna encircle these guys, take the port, can dump our planes here for more efficiency, and then I'm gonna chuck a couple more on Cass, and we can fix our imports. Now that Russia has been claimed, you can, if you want to demand Pomerania, if you do it, and you have twice the size of Germany's army, there's a 20% chance for them to accept. If you have 10 times the army, you have pretty much a guaranteed chance, but you would have to have like 1,000 divisions, and then you're not really prepared for World War I. So I'm not gonna do it. If you want to, you should just make a save, demand it, and if they refuse, then you just reload because you wasted 70 days on doing nothing. But I will get prepared for the next war, because we kind of need to prepare for it, or for the current war. I guess we can prepare for the current war. That makes more sense. Get the better gun tech, and we can get the dragon tank. Pin these, make sure we don't get encircled, encircle these, and we can try and take Bucharest. We can get you back here, and we might as well send in a spy. Get Logi Wizard and Info Expert. Then we're gonna get new Polish industry, keep on getting doctrines. We're gonna go with left. Grand Battle Plan left is a little bit more offensive than the other path, and I do want to be on the offensive today. Put in more on anti-air, and there goes Romania. Same thing, puppet. Actually, take the Bessarabia tiles yourself, otherwise Romania will just give them to the Soviets. Resources, factories, and navy. Then we're gonna dump all of our proper army on the Yugo border. We're gonna call in Hungary as well into the both Polish-Yugoslavian wars, I guess. Latvia, we are gonna annex everything because we have cores. Oh, did I say annex everything? I meant everything except for Vijeme. That way, Latvia can still do their focus tree and get more buildings, more factories than they actually have building slots. And at this point, if you want to, you can also start building forts. I am not going to because we don't need forts here. Let's just battle plan both sides. A microing would be better, but also I don't really care anymore. At this point, if you want to, you can get the war industrialist. And then we get our 5th research slot. And there goes Estonia. We are just gonna puppet Estonia. I'm just gonna put more on trucks, and we're gonna get field hospitals. The offensive ideally goes into Montenegro, just so you can get Macedonia here. And then with your Montenegro offensive, you can split up Yugoslavia again. And there's a ton of VPs down here. And if you want to, you can also make a line here, push it to Split. We are also gonna get logistics companies. We're not gonna use them for a while, but we might as well get them already. Then let's get better RT and better AA. At this point, you have pretty much everything that you would want out of your focus tree. I'm just gonna get nationalist education, which will help us defend against Germany a little bit better, but it's not super important. Germany demands Memel, but I have bad news. We have a non-aggression pact, and you definitely cannot break this. So we will never give up my one civilian factory. At this point, you can also start to turn a bunch of your horses into infantry and dismiss the rest of your horses. And with Yugoslavia, first thing, we're gonna take the navy. We are gonna do the only sensible thing, which is we're gonna puppet everything. And we are gonna be even trickier. We're not gonna puppet Serbia. We're gonna puppet Serbia and Yugoslavia. We should have puppeted Yugo up here and Serbia here because the Germans and the Italians get a war goal against Yugo, and Bulgaria might join them. Yeah, Yugo will cap, but the rest down here is secure. The rest will be neutral. And now we have a booming industry. We are gonna draw a front line here with the Germans. Additionally, we are gonna take all of our puppets divisions, all 2 of them, and they will be dumped on the Soviet front. We're also gonna bank PP now. We do want 300 PP for the start of the war. In this Grand Battle Plan game, I also started building forts on the entire Western Front, so not Königsberg around this time, but I have held without forts before with Grand Battle Plan, and especially when running mass assault, you don't need forts at all. And then we're gonna create the most important flame tank you have ever seen. It will make such a difference in the war. Oh no. I don't really need the cast anymore, so we can just chuck this away. Then we are mostly just gonna invest into the flame tank right now. You can get the MEVs, but I don't really care. I'd rather get the research bonus, I guess. Not that the research bonus does anything for us right now. We're gonna get the better plane tech as well. If you want to, you can also give up Danzig. That's perfectly fine. You don't really lose that much. Unless you build there. If you do it properly, yeah, you can genuinely just hold without the Germans pushing you.
Your first objective is to take Königsberg, so that you can focus your entire army on the Western Front. In the background I have the mass assault game running, and you can see we never lost a single tile in the west. And I only had to micro a little bit near Katowice, but that was everything. Also, if you're running mass assault, you should increase the combat width of your infantry to 30 width or more, so that you can benefit more easily from mass charge.
Ha! There we go, the Germans can now capitulate. We've already encircled the division. Medium flame tanks. That's fine. And medium flame tanks for you as well. And I'm gonna add field hospitals on these boys. Field hospitals on these would be far too expensive in terms of manpower. Actually, 45k, that's not even that bad. And I don't need those anymore. We are gonna get war economy and extensive conscription. Really important. Getting some actual fucking manpower. There we go. And with the Between the Seas concept, really cool because you just bypass half of your focus tree, because half of your focus tree is already in your alliance. Polish Romania refuses to join my faction. Eat it and fall off your horse. Pin these guys and another 4 German troops encircled. They're blitzing a little bit here, and that's okay. And we could get Finland into our faction. I am not interested right now because they would just call everybody in. There we go. And now all we need to do is drop a couple of boys here. I'm gonna take these 17. Germany has fallen right into my trap. Before we get logistics list, let's get armored train. All you need to do now is just hold a little bit longer with those guys, and the rest will just retake Katowice while the Germans are panicking. Oh, they actually took Warsaw. I think we need 60% capitulation. Yeah, it's not really worth it in my opinion. This tree over here is super strong, but you have to pretty much be capped, so it's not my kind of tree. I would actually like to exist in a game about World War II. I wouldn't like my country to fall in a game about World War II. Saved! The plan, honestly, very simple. We just make this front smaller and smaller, and I feel like they're starting to freak out a little bit, because they are close to getting encircled. Ah, they're even pushing. Okay, never mind. Keep on pushing, Germany. It does not matter. And then construction technology. And there we go. That is the German offensive. Done and dusted. Oh, they're using cheat defense. It doesn't matter. At this point, if you want to, you can build some planes. Some proper fighters that will help again, defend against the Soviets. Pocket after pocket after pocket for the Germans. I think they're cooked. And just like that, the entire German blitz offensive is gone. Germany is a neutered dog at this point. Look at Germany. They have 60 divisions at this point. Italy joins. That usually means that the entire front will now be manned by Italians instead of Germans. It's a very weird twist. Oh, come on! This is the... Guys, you're supposed to join me. The Soviets demand the East now. I am not interested in giving it up. If you want to, what you can do is you can release all of your stuff. But we are gonna have a fight. We're gonna put up one. Pilaki! You should have some trades, come on. The Soviets will most likely spam naval invasions and piss us off. And we're gonna get a strategic destruction. This gives us the best fighters. Very important. We're gonna draw a front line here. I'm gonna call both in here. Slovenia and Croatia. I am just interested in getting the Italian puppet. Brother, you're my puppet. Why are you refusing this? I want to link up with the allies so the allies can deal with Croatia and Slovenia, but this sucks. There we go, Croatia. And now give me Litorale. And all we need to do now is defend here. Wouldn't it be nice to have a supply hub down here? You're such a fucking idiot. Your wife should have bankrupted this fucking country. Germany on... Oh, come on. You don't even have divisions, brother. Oh, you've heard about first naval invasion. What about second naval invasion, eh? Soviets, yeah, we're just gonna wait for them until they don't have planes anymore. We're gonna do the same thing that we did to Germany, but the Soviets don't really have their offensive divisions here anymore, so it doesn't hurt that much. Small pocket. There we go. I'm just gonna do a full frontal assault. Take a little bit of industry away from the Soviets, and the planes, we can put them on auto. And with that, we now only need to wait until Italy declares war on us, and then we would get barrow of artillery. That is not a lot of strength on the Soviets divisions here. We could encircle, but I'm just gonna keep on pushing. Honestly, I really like a big Finland. That looks very nice on the map. What the fuck? We're gonna banish Stalin to the Penis province, as always. And if you enjoyed this guide, I can also offer you this ultimate Italy guide over here.